Incredible. Thank you so much. You know, we're a little under the weather. Fat Joe, I think, told you that we caught something on the J-Lo party on the boat after the Super Bowl. But that doesn't matter because you're all here. We're going to roll anyway, you know? You know, I get to talk about you can sit down. I get to talk about my favorite topic today, and that is making money and irritating you to make money with residual income. Yeah, I irritate you to do it because you deserve it. And after it happens, your life will never be the same. And of course, the logic of why you can do it. I hope we made some progress this weekend because beyond any reason of doubt, you have what it takes. And we remove all the barriers. The size of your bank account doesn't matter. Investment, education, experience, none of it matters. You just have to have some desire and want to do it. And we make it happen by doing it with you. I mean, where else in the world is that ever going to happen? Can you tell me? It's not going to happen. How else are you ever going to be free and have your dreams come true? Welcome home. You're here. It's going to happen, guys. So, you know, I want to congratulate you for being here. It's pretty impressive. It really is pretty impressive. I'm really impressed. Not only does this not happen anywhere in America, but you had a lot of reasons not to be here this time. And there was a lot of rumors going around, a lot of concern, which may have been legitimate. We've done everything we can to mitigate that. But you know what? It's real easy to make an excuse when there's a reason, isn't there? But you're here. And that really says something to me, you know. And where else does this happen in corporate America or in business America where, you know, people come to the meeting at 7:30, 8 a.m., fight for seats, and they won't leave the seats until 6:30 p.m., and they won't even go to the bathroom because they're afraid they'll miss something. Where else does that happen? I mean, I don't know how you do it, but then there's breakouts at night, and no one pays your way. That's amazing. I bet you the average cost of getting here is about $2,000. You get your ticket, your airline, your food, your hotel. Man, you're here because you want to be here. You see? You know, it's that incredible entrepreneurial passion. That's power. And that's what we're all about. And I am so honored that you're here. You know, you're here because you want to go director. And life begins at director. $18,000 a month. Tell me that won't irritate the neighbors and shut up the relatives. And it's happened to so many. But the most important thing to me this weekend is that somehow you get it in your head. If I got to crack your skull open and peel it back and put it in there, I will. But you get it in your head. It's not about the people that have done it. It's about the fact that you can do it. I want to take can out of it. You will do it. Is that a deal? And, okay. You know, in spite of all the obstacles and concerns that this year brings, and it affects attendance a little bit, I understand that, the business and the show must go on. It can't stop, and I'll tell you why. We're putting on and staging presentations and new releases and broadcasting the video content on demand around the world because between convention and world conference, we go to work for you to provide new things, better things, improvements, products. And that's what the business is all about. It's not about this conference. It's about all the things that we deliver and worked on for 6 months so that all the UFOs around the world would know about them. So we got to do this regardless of what happens. Even if there was nobody here, we'd have to film it. So thank you for being here and part of that. Mine's Lauren and me. Some of our friends in the music industry, or they invite us to Billboard, Music Awards, Grammys. And these things are televised, but you think they're live when you watch them on TV, but they're actually staged. And they keep stopping for commercials, and they organize you, and they put people up front. And that's kind of what we're doing here, because the real purpose of this is all the great things that we have come out with that we released so that everybody would know about them. And it's just amazing. I was like blown away by all the things that came out. What did I do with my card? I had a list. Okay. Think about this. Laird Jewelry special through tomorrow night in Laird Jewelry. What an incredible line, right? New motives, new products. New Lumiere de Vie products. New isotonics anthraxin, if I say it right. New, I take it all the time, so I don't have to say it. New pure collagen, TLS jumpstart programs, Gene Snips and TLS Select, and more comprehensive weight management and lifestyle program available by health professionals. New IBV products, as like gluten-free dog treats, Advantage Wellness, Pet Advantage, Rastelli, okay, and with Asia, Kevin Buckman, seeing results in the past 90 days. He's now heading it up. We needed our DNA in there to take it to the next level. And then Chris Petticourt showed you all the enhancements to the unfranchised new learning center. And Kevin Buckman explained the why behind the inventory management program, so you don't have to worry about your rule, 30% rule or 70% rule. It takes care of it all. And credibility tools and more to come to you very soon, just like we did with the digital education and credibility tools, so people want to get the wrong idea when they go on the internet. We're not going to have one for network marketing, MLM, explaining why this is different, better, and not that, anything like that. That's a lot, folks. That's a whole lot. I don't know any other company that does that much between sessions to keep moving forward, because that's what it's all about. We just keep moving forward. So, I thought all that was done. Okay, so my objective today is to help you succeed and achieve your goals and dreams as a UFO. That's the bottom line. Now, I don't know what that means to you, because yesterday we talked a lot about what you were doing and what you weren't doing, and the reasons why this thing would definitely work if you would do a few things. So, first and foremost, if you're new, I wanted to find a fast-track path to residual income and UFO pin levels, and eliminate the detours, the pitfalls, the holes, and the things that sidetrack you. Now, I call that becoming a hopeless success. If you'll just do what I say and try it and get a partner, you might be amazed how easy it is. You like that? You want to do that? I don't know why we're here otherwise. And, I want to provide all UFOs that came here this weekend some mental weapons to win with, so that you're strong mentally. You know what to say. You know what to do. You're confident. You like that? Okay. And if you've been in for a while, you're the ones that I really feel for, and have not reached the top or succeeded or hit your residual income goals and establish a significant residual income with the unfranchised. You're the ones that I worry about. And that's why I'm trying to teach imprinting. I'm trying to teach what you have to change. You obviously believe you wouldn't be here. Okay? You deserve to succeed. And I can't stand the fact that you haven't. You understand that? It drives me nuts. Because I love you and I believe in you. So it's logic. Are you a logical person? Are you intelligent? I mean, if you keep doing the same thing, you're going to get the same result. Does that make sense? And, you know, the definition of insanity is somebody that keeps doing the same thing expecting a different result. Are some of you insane? I mean, come on. I poured my heart out yesterday. I emptied my cerebral cortex on the floor and threw it at you. This works. It works with everybody I ever did it with. But you want to do it some other way. Oh, please. I always said, you know, the business is like an insane asylum. It's like two things. It's a zoo, and I'm the zookeeper, because we got all types of characters and animals. But you ever see One Flew Over the Cuckoo Nest? Huh? Because we have all types of people, and there's all types of nuts, and we're all a little crazy, whether you're willing to admit it or not. And the person that says, I'm not crazy, is the one you got to worry about. But One Flew Over the Cuckoo Nest. I'm Jack Nicholson, and Lauren is Nurse Pritchett. You know? At any rate, you know, I want you to become the change that you want to see. That's all. I want you to actually experience what I experienced. I came from nothing, just an average guy, average family, okay? And because I learned how to use my brain and program it, and discovered the secret in life is people power. The greatest power in the world. Greater than governments, greater than ideologies, and as great as religion. Because when you give a person a way to become free and raise themselves up above where they came from so that they can have what they want in life, you have the greatest power in the world. And that's what we have. Now, I hope that we use it, you know. So for some of you, you've worked hard, and others of you have come along for the ride. And you know, that's okay. Really, it is okay. I never punish anybody or criticize them for being along for the ride. At least you're on the ride. And the time will come when the timing's right, and you'll get with it. So stay on board. Tie a knot at the end of the rope. And come to these things, because one day you're going to wake up and you're going to break out and say, get out of my way. And it'll happen. And you know, but for some of you, if you worked as hard at your job as you do in the business, you'd be fired. Think about it. But if you worked the business one half as hard as you worked your job, you wouldn't need the job, and you would be rich, and you would retire the job and fire your boss and do what you really want to do. What do you say about that? Huh? I'm supposed to sit down while I keep getting excited. But see, most of you, though, the honest to God truth, because I know you. I know you better than you probably know yourself. And I know some of you personally. So you all fit one of the profiles that's in my, in my mind. But you're dedicated and work hard at the business. That's what really worries me. Jackie, when somebody works hard and is not making the money that they should, I got to figure out why. Because anybody that works hard at this and follows the system should succeed. So there's something missing. And that's what I search. You know, I stay up at night because of it. So we're going to identify What has to change? Can we at least have that covenant between us? Let's find out what, because you wouldn't be here otherwise. You're a bit crazy, man. You came here in spite of possible risk. You're enthusiastic, you're excited, you spend a lot of money. You know, everybody at home thinks you're nuts, and you're here. Wow, I respect that. So, it comes back to making a little change between now and International Convention. My hope, my grand day will be if you come back, if everybody here comes back to convention and they've grown, they've hit another pin level, they have people leading to people, they're learning the evaluation approach, they're going back to the things that make the business fun. And when it's fun and it's working, you're never going to go back. But I just got to get you to take one step, one jump. Hey, look, it hasn't worked your way, maybe. What's wrong with trying it my way? Is it pride? Is it some weird thing that I don't understand? If it hasn't worked your way, and I poured myself out yesterday, why not just try it my way? Huh? You know, I have no ego in it. I just want you to succeed. And it's not working your way. There's got to be a reason, because the business definitely works. Am I getting to you? Or am I talking to the wall? So, you know, over the last 20 years, 28 years, my philosophy and beliefs and practices have not changed much. They were really formed in fighting my way out of the same situation you are in, with not having money, people criticizing me. Hey, look at the Amway boy. The what boy? You know, I got all that. Oh, you'll never make it, you dumb little guy. Okay, I made it. But I was insane about making it. I did not want my life to pass me by and never accomplish anything great. And my greatest motivation was to be a leader and lead people to greatness in something. It ended up here. And, but I need to tell you something. Everybody looks for the secret to success. That's why you're here. I mean, I go to, you know, Anthony Robbins seminars, Rohn's, you know, training, all these fabulous educators and motivational speakers and trainers. The self-help industry is humongous. So people seek information, and they're looking for the answer. Would you agree with that? So I'm going to give you the answer right now. It's the bottom line. It's called the net, net, net. All else taken out. The difference between success and failure is just this simple. The individual who succeeds simply did what the individual who failed did not do, period. Now, if that baffles you, I'm sorry. You know, you can explain it any way you want, but at the end of the day, the reality is one person did something that the other person didn't. That's why they made it. Now, if you're smart, you'd want to find out what that is, so that you don't have to make the same mistakes, or you're not a casualty or a statistic. So, I mean, you take a look at Jobs and Gates. You know, they were almost partners. I wonder what would have happened if they were partners. They went separate ways, and the competition probably advanced the industry better. But the point is, things like that, and Google, and social media, okay, and the shopping community. Many companies failed when one company succeeded. So what's the difference? One did something that the other ones didn't, because they were great ideas that materialized and became iconic movements that changed the world. We're going to change the world. Are you going to be with us? Are you going to be one of those people that made it? So, another quote. These are quotes from JR over the last 20 years that have never changed from day one. You can't stop an idea whose time has come. And people love to buy and they hate to be sold. So find out what they want and provide it at the same or better price and higher quality. And I call it one-to-one marketing. And it'll work because it's an idea whose time has come, and we will make it work. I say the exact same thing today as I did 28 years ago. Do you get that? So I haven't changed. This is one of my favorites. Okay? This resonates over the years. This isn't something I thought of today. I've been saying it for 28 years. I'm like a broken record. Ask Dennis. Okay, so don't forget where you came from, because you might not be able to find your way back. I say leaders don't like to hear that. Oh, I'm okay. Look at me. Don't forget where you came from. That person down in the group who's a diamond in the rough, and you think the leg's going to qualify forever, but they're screaming, that's the person that I want. That's the Dennis Franks. That's the Kevin Buckman. That's the Elizabeth Weber. You got one in your group. And you turn your back on them because you're getting a check. Don't forget where you came from, because you might not be able to find your way back. You hear that? I still do meetings 3 times a week in the home. I still drive 2 hours and nobody shows up. I understand. I'm one of you. Don't ever forget it. So, another one. You must succeed so that other people can realize their dreams. And in so doing, your wildest dreams become realities automatically. Now, what does that mean? Well, the whole thing is about you getting your dream, but you can't get your dream without first helping somebody else get their dream. So we forget about our dream and we focus totally on their dream and their success. And by making it work for them, we're automatically successful and get whatever we want. That's the greatest economic formula ever created, right there. So you succeed, not in almost everything else in the world. You make more by them making less. You make more by pushing people out competitively. But in this, you make more by helping other people make more first. It doesn't exist anywhere else, So at some point, I hope that billionth of a volt will go off. And here's what's wrong with you. If you want to know what's wrong with you, I know. Your brain is programmed wrong. It's not your fault. I really feel badly about that. I try to help as many people as I can, and I'm going to try to help you today with it. But if we can just change your thinking and change what's going into your head, you're going to get a different result. That's the only thing I know. Do you hear me? You hear me? So that's what I'm here to brainwash you. When I started making money, an old friend from high school came up to me and said, I know what you do. You're brainwashed. You're in one of them things and you get people all excited and hyped up and they go do all types of crazy stuff and you're brainwashed. And not only that, but you brainwash people. Well, I was almost offended for a minute. Because when you start to get affluent, people say, you have been very fortuitous. I said, what the hell does that mean? They said, it was lucky. Okay? Weren't you the same guy when I got out of college and first started this, that I came to and showed the plan to, and you told me I was crazy and it would never work, and I was an idiot? I said, well, that was different back then. You made it now. I said, you know what? You're absolutely right. I'm lucky that I didn't listen to your ass. Right? You with me? You have the same thing going on, don't you? You know? So here's the problem. I'm going to try to work on. I'm going to try to work on your brain. But before we can do it, before I can really program it, there's blocks in it. Blocks. There's obstructions. There's short circuits in the circuitry. There's syntax errors. The operating system won't accept the programming. Is this making sense to you? And it's because of a word called can't. See, when I say do this, buy tickets, I can't. Do the evaluation approach, 2 a week for 52 weeks, that's 104. Do it, I can't. Okay? Come to the seminar, I can't come to this. I can't this and I can't that. Now, you may not say it because you know that you'll get beat up, but you think it. And guess what? Thinking it is more powerful than saying it because you're programming your brain. And if you don't reverse that, of course you can't do it. So, 2002, with this group of people, we buried can't. It was gone, and that's why they made it. I'm telling you, I'm going to shout it again. That's why they made it. I want to tell you something about this corporate team. I put them through a lot of hell. I mean, it's a lot of pressure, but we fight together. And, I've asked a lot of crazy things that nobody understands. I have high expectations, high goals and dreams. But they never said to me, I can't do it, we can't do it. They might have said, I don't think that's wise. I think that's a bit much. Really, JR? You really think that that's going to work? But they never, ever said they can't do it. That's why we're successful. You understand that? But what about you? What about you? I can't buy more or move convention tickets. Why don't you say, I won't buy and move convention tickets. I can't get 10 preferred customers. No. Do trial size marketing. Oh, you won't do that? You won't get 10 PCs. I can't show the plan. No. Because I'm going to do it with you until it's automatic. You better say, I won't show the plan. Are you getting this? Okay. I can't do the basic 5. No, you won't do the basic 5. See? I can't hit the next pin level by convention. Totally false. You won't hit the next pin level. Take that can't out. I can't talk to people very well. Now, you won't talk to people. And it's the bottom line, because if you had to, if your life depended on it, and you were going to die, you would do it. So you can do it, it's just that you won't do it. And that's your choice. And I want to change that. So, remember, one of my topics is the biggest problem the company has is the plan works too well. It works so well when someone does it that they stop doing it because they're getting residual income. And I admit they earned it. But what about the other people down in their group? If they didn't imprint over the last 15, 20 years, and people are not in the goose formation, flying with more power, which makes them all go together and achieve the goal, they have fallen short. They have fallen short. And their progeny will become extinct. You understand that? So, the reason we made it was in 2002, we buried can't, and it was removed from our mentality. For some reason, it's like a virus creeping back, right? So, I want to take you back to 2002. Is that okay? They say, history repeats itself, and you need to know your history in order to understand where you are now. Watch this.
Say can't. If it was life and death, and you were going to die if you didn't do it, you would probably do it. So it's not that you can't, it's that you won't afford convention tickets. So you really cannot not afford them, because the way you grow is by getting other people there to wake them up. No, it's not that someone can't prospect and recruit. It's what? They won't prospect and recruit. It's not that you can't get 10 preferred customers. It's that you choose not to because you don't want to badly enough, and you won't do it. See, it's not that you can't learn how to show the plan. It's that you won't learn how to show the plan. It's not that you can't do the basic 5. It's that you won't do the basic 5. It's not that someone can't use computers. It's that they just don't want to do it. They don't want to learn badly enough, so they won't do it. It's not that someone can't hit a pen level. Are you getting this? It's that they won't hit a pen level. It's not that they can't talk to people. It's that they won't.
That sounds like what I just said. 2002. So, okay, whether you can or cannot, you are absolutely right. Watch
There's an
this.
old saying that whether you think you can or whether you think you can't, you're absolutely right. Isn't that true?
So the ones that made it said I can in their brain. And the ones who didn't make it, they bought into I can't. And it's easy to do. It's easy to say I can't. It's a little harder to say I can. But look at the result, So we agreed that we needed to bury that thinking. Bury it. Can you bury it? Or do you have to carry it with you? We'll see tomorrow morning. We'll see if you leave with tickets. We'll see if you make your list of 20 and 50 and go find a partner and start doing it. We'll see.
When we start saying I can't, okay, what it does is it cements in the brain the belief that you're unable to do something when it's not true. You lied to yourself, you see? Okay? And by eliminating I can't, we give birth to possibilities. We give birth to the fact that I can. But we got to get rid of I can't first. We become a creative problem solver. We become more productive. We begin living. We get a new lease on the business. We're actually like born again in the business. And it allows I can to exist, which gives birth to I will. Think about that. When you allow I can to exist, it gives birth to I will. And when you start willing things to happen, you can make things happen. And then all of a sudden, I will becomes I am. I am a success because you willed it into being by saying I can, and then you became I will. Does that make sense to you?
Okay. That was the wrong video. Okay. Bury I can't.
We're now going to have a funeral for all of your I can'ts. And this is Reverend J.R.
We made a lot of them. Write them down during the weekend and submit them.
In here has identified their I can'ts and put them in. As we sit here together, once and for all, we're going to put I can to rest. Ladies and gentlemen, today, we gather today to honor the memory of I Can. While he was with us on earth, he touched the lives of everyone, some more than others. His name, unfortunately, has been spoken in every public place, in schools, in city halls, in state capitals, and yes, even our White House. And he has frequently visited most every home in America. Today, we have provided I Can a final resting place. Now, he's survived by his brothers and sisters. I can, I will, and I'm going to right away. Now, they're not as well known as their famous relative, and they're not as strong, and they're not as powerful yet. But perhaps someday, with your help, they will make even a bigger impact and a bigger mark on the world. May I can't rest in peace. And may everyone present pick up their lives and move forward in his absence. Amen. Now, what happens when we bury I can't? When you bury your I can'ts, you've been dead because of your I can'ts. You haven't been able to live your dreams because of your I can'ts. What happens is you get a new lease on life, and you get a new lease on the business, and I cans are born, and that's what you turn into. So you're given life again in the business. I can.
I can. I can. My name is Cito Dominio. I can, I will, and I'm going to right away. And I am a director. Woo!
Do you get it? Okay, so if we can really bury I can't, remove it from our consciousness, because see, when you talk to yourself and think something like that, if you don't reverse it, the brain doesn't know the difference. It just absorbs it. And once it's in the programming, it affects your behavior, your attitude, what you do, okay? So we change that. When we bury I can, I will, I'll do it right away. Remember Lauren's speech on what they discovered? If you don't do it, when you get a thought and want to do something, you don't do it within 5 seconds, you program the brain the opposite. Does everybody understand that? You agree with that, right? 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. When you do it, you program the brain, and it actually becomes neural. I mean, you actually will develop synapses and neurons to run that program faster. It's proven, it's scientifically proven. Okay, so, I should have gotten you the research and the literature and put it up so you could go look it up, because you don't believe me, and I don't have time to explain it all. But at any rate, here's what happens to someone who does that.
My name is Bonnie Philo. I can, I will, I am going to right away. I am a success. I am a field vice president.
Well, she's an executive director. That ain't bad. She missed. She had stuff come up, but at least she's an executive director. You get it? Okay, so,
Let's all say together, I can, I will, I'm going to right away. I am a success. I am a director. I am a field vice president. Woo!
Wow.
Okay. Do you get it? Huge.
So what's my point? Is that billionth of a volt going to go off in your brain? So, before many people made 500,000, 250,000, 100,000, 600, before they made it, this is what happened. And as a result, you became a very successful UFO. Okay? I want to go back to that time. There was a different thinking. All I want to do is go back and have fun again and help so many more people. I have one goal in life, to fill this place with directors and become world renowned as a company that changes the economy. And we can do it. We have the power in this room. So, the question is, are you going to do what's necessary? Now, I'm going to teach you how to program your brain. We're going to do some exercises today. But I have to tell you, you'll hear it, you'll understand it, you'll cognitively assimilate it. But if you don't take any action, it reverses everything. So we have to believe that we can do it and know how we're going to do it. And I'm going to show you how important that logic is. But if we do nothing, what ends up happening is our brain reverses. It reverses, and it protects against doing those things. You actually program it into reverse. Are you hearing me? So we have all these seminars. This material is available to you in the sites that Chris Petticourt, told you about. We put it out all the time. We're going to be announcing it. You can get this, and for me, it's kind of like a checklist. Okay? Measure yourself. How many of these things do you do? Listen to audios and watch videos. Well, you'll watch TV and all the crap that's out there and be on social media 4 hours a day, listen to all the hate wars, but you put nothing in your brain that's constructive or positive. So you become what you think about. You become what you're exposed to. And no wonder it's a struggle. I understand. But, look at this stuff. Just look at it. You're not in kindergarten. There it is. How many of those things do you do to program your mind? It's like an Olympian. They work out so hard with great trainers, and they define it. They refine it so that they're doing what they have to do to be better, and they do it every day after day after day. And you want to be financially independent and leave a legacy and make hundreds of thousands of dollars a year, if not millions, and you won't do what's necessary. It starts with your head. You were born in an environment that was wrong for greatness. But you can change it. You can decide to change it. So that's my point. So it's all there. 5 fundamental requirements to be on the program that I talked about yesterday. Will you do them? See, this is where the rubber meets the pavement. This is the reality check. Yeah, you're here. Thank you for coming. That really means a lot. But when you leave, did you get anything out of it? And don't be one of those people that spends $2,000 to come to a seminar, sit in a hardback chair, absorb everything, stand up and clap and applaud and be positive, and then you go home and you do nothing. My whole mission is change. Change a little. Am I okay? Are we okay with that? Yeah, I don't want you to do it for me. Please. I want you to do it for yourself. I want you to shut your relatives up. I want you to be an example to other people, a beacon light that other people can follow, because you're so doggone average. You just aren't made to be great, but you made it anyway, and you showed them. Wow. That's our day of glory. Do you understand what I'm saying? You, not me, not them, you. This is your time. This is your chance. That's a checklist. None of them are that hard to do. How bad do you want to be free? How bad do you want to be that beacon light for other people to follow and to respect? It's all here. I'm not going to spend 30 minutes going through it. I go over it and over and over and over it. We have seminars. You can have a fast track group. But the bottom line is, it's still the same stuff. The real question is, do you even know it? And if you know it and it's on a list, can you measure it? Measure, monitor, adjust, and control, and just check to see if you're doing any of it? And maybe pick up one more thing each week? Okay, so I got to tell you the greatest discovery of my life. And I beat this to death, but it's my favorite topic because I don't understand why I'm a billionaire. I don't understand how all this happened, but I do understand. It's just hard to believe that the brain is so powerful, because anybody that knows me knows that I'm kind of grungy, very fundamental. I make a joke out of everything, but I'm not a sophisticated, greatly, educated, intelligent person. I'm just an average guy. I'm you. So the greatest thing in the world to me is I found out that you become what you think about. Unfortunately, you all have a brain. You got one. You can't do anything about it. And the way God made that brain is what goes into it day by day, minute by minute, week by week, programs it, and that becomes you. And that becomes what you have. And it's so powerful in His law that you will attract what you need. You'll attract more of it. Any problem will be solved. Well, you don't believe me. I know you don't believe me. Let me just prove it to you. Let me prove it to you. Look at you right now in your state of mind, who you are, and what you have. You're exactly where you are and what you are and think the way you do and have what you have because of what you put in your brain. Anybody want to disagree and debate? But who has control over that? So you see, you become what you think about all the time. I mean, Napoleon Hill in Think and Grow Rich. James Allen, As a Man Thinketh. The Bible. Earl Nightingale, The Strangest Secret. I got a tape when I was 20 years old. Somebody sold it to me in another company. It was called The Strangest Secret. This thing went on for hours, building up to this crescendo. I said, just tell me the secret, will you? You know? Finally, at the end, he said, and the strangest secret is you become what you think about all the time. I said, that couldn't possibly be true, or I would be a girl. You know? So, at any rate, I did get the best girl, though. Ha ha. So, Princeton University, Department of Psychokinesis, one of the most prestigious institutes in education, did a 3-year study, and it came down to it takes 1/1000th of a volt snapping across the cerebral cortex to make up your mind, to change your mind, to decide. And out of that comes a lifetime of passion. You have a why, a mission, a purpose. But you have to think and determine who you are, because most of you don't know who you are. I ask you who you are, you can't define it. Who you are and what your purpose is. Why are you here? Just to go to the bar and get drunk, watch a football game, fool around, have a family? Is that all there is to life? Well, if you think it is, you'll get it. So I want to snap that brain. I want to snap that. You know, so there's no doubt about it. There's no doubt about it that our lives are molded by our thoughts. I mean, think about, one of the things that amazes me is in 1960, John F. Kennedy said we were going to go to the moon. That was preposterous. That was ridiculous. I talk about the shopping annuity and things like that, or residual income with MP. You think I'm crazy? That guy was really crazy. 1960, and by 1968, we went to the moon. We hardly had computers. It's just incredible. And what did it take to do it? The rocket scientists looked at him and said, the will to do it, because it's definitely possible. The will to do it. Do you have the will to do it? To change your life? To go to the moon with this business? Anything that the mind of man can conceive and believe, it can achieve. Well, what do you conceive in your mind? TV tonight, social media all day, no goals, hanging out. Oh, I know, the good one, the juicy gossip. What's the gossips today? Right? Okay, so you have to start somewhere. Everything starts out as a thought. I mean, think about the company. This company was a thought. out of frustration, aggravation from other types of businesses, and what was possible, and the same problems repeating themselves over and over again. And that I knew I had a better way, but I didn't have the guts to do it. I didn't have the intestinal fortitude to do it until Lauren irritated me into it because I talked about it too much. What about you? What about Elizabeth Weber? We had nothing, no reason to join this piece of crap. But she joined. Tony Bowling. You think they were born at these levels? I remember when they were negative. But they overcame it, Dennis looked at me and said, "You are nuts. I've never seen anybody so excited about something that nobody understands." But you're so excited, I'm going to try it with you. So, it's just amazing. I don't know how I became the CEO of a billion-dollar company. I didn't know how to do it, but that didn't stop me. We went at it, and we figured out it along the way. And you know what? I figured out how to get people better than me. Like these guys. God, am I thankful for that. But, passion is contagious. We were sitting around a kitchen table talking about this. It was an idea. I'm trying to demonstrate to you something that's real now that wasn't before. It was an idea that we applied ourselves to. And as we thought more and worked it out, we became more energized. And it started to materialize. And that's the way the law works. The law of the universe. The law of creation. That thoughts are seeds. Thoughts are real things. And if you program your brain and accept it, see, the key is accepting it with belief and start to demonstrate it. You must act on it. It'll start to happen. The other side starts to fill in, whether you like it or not. And that's why you are where you are right now. I got to convince you. This is the most important sale of my life. Belief, passion, why, mission, purpose, identity. And when you have it, you never give up. One of the greatest speeches of all time was by Winston Churchill after the war, when all the dignitaries of the world gathered together in Parliament, and he was a great orator, and they expected quite a speech. Anticipated it, anxious because he was great. And as he came to the podium, the little bulldog leaned over and he said, "Never, never, never give up," and left. That was his speech. How about you? What's it take to get you to give up? Amazing. The greatest Brit of all times. So it comes down to a question of belief, and the only thing better than belief is knowing. Ooh. Yeah, I want you in the wheelbarrow. But I ain't getting in the wheelbarrow unless I know I'm going to make it. That one will catch you on the way home. I ain't getting in the wheelbarrow over Niagara Falls with some other person pushing it unless I know I'm going to make it. So I have to have confidence in him, but I also have to understand the physics and the whole thing. Because knowing is the only thing greater than believing. Do you know this is going to work? Do you know you're going to make it work? That's what I want. I don't want you just to believe. I want you to know. Oh, wow. So, you've seen this before. Now, why did I come out here and do this? I wanted to demonstrate to you that I too could do something like you. You're trying to do something that you don't know if you can really do it. True or false? But you believe in it. But you don't know for sure if it'll happen. I deal with that every day. Now listen to this. I didn't know if I could make it across 30 feet up, a wheelbarrow full of bricks, simulating what happened in Niagara Falls in 1954 when black and white TV first came out and they filmed it, and the guy went across the falls in a wheelbarrow full of bricks. When we got to the other side, everybody was cheering, and he asked them, "Do you think I can do it again?" And they said, "Yeah, you made it look easy. Do you know I can do it?" He said, "Well, we believe you can." He made it look easy. He dumped the bricks out and said, "Get in the wheelbarrow. I'm going back across." Will you get in the wheelbarrow? Yeah. You get the point? The only reason I did this, I honestly, folks, didn't know if I could do it. But I was willing to risk it in front of you. What if I fell? Almost did. Do you understand this? I'm trying to put myself in you. We can do more. We can do things that we didn't know if we could do. That's the point, you know. So you got to be careful about what you think and know. Listen to this carefully. Everything that I'm giving you today is my best wisdom. The business is a strange thing. You don't have to invest much money in it. You don't have to know a lot. And it can be bigger than any business that you could ever buy for $500,000, $1 million, or a couple $1 million. Much bigger. And it's residual. It keeps coming in. Okay? But where the business ends up in your group and in your life, now listen to this, depends on what you see it as. Please listen to this. And how you see yourself in it. Whatever the picture is in your mind and the definition of the unfranchised and market America and what it takes to do, that picture, that image, that belief, that concept is what it becomes. It's really fascinating. Really fascinating. Look, Elizabeth Weber is no different than most of you. I know her really well. She's one of the most interesting people I've ever met. Because she isn't that much, but she's a lot. You know what I mean, right? Rick, you know what I mean. She's a surprise. Okay, so you have to have an identity first. Now, they got this out of order. This is another part of it. When I get to it, I say, this is what I meant to show you. But the point is that the business is like a liquid, a fluid. It'll take on the form of whatever container, vessel, you pour it into. Now, that vessel in the business is you and your thinking, right? It's so amazing to me, this concept, because I mean, take a look at Jackie Blasco. I mean, she's another interesting one. But the business became what she thought it would be. Do you understand? It conformed to her, and hers is nothing like Elizabeth's. I hope that you understand this. I mean, these are really deep things. But let's watch this.
Actually, how to do this. I am a loving and caring mother and wife. I am a loyal and
this is Lauren's
I am a hard-working
definition and identity statement.
I'm not afraid of challenges. I set goals that are high for myself and those around me and embrace their challenge. I am always willing to help those in need and get pleasure from it. I love helping others achieve their dreams, as I know by doing so, I will always achieve mine. I am a trendsetter and a nurturer at heart. I am a leader. I am the senior vice president of a $1 billion Fortune 500 company. Lauren writing. That describes her beautifully.
Now that was 2002. 2002. It happened, right?
So I was inspired. I said, I know mine. Lauren says, but you said you gotta write it down. Okay.
I get balled out too.
I am a driven, motivated, self-confident, inspired individual. I am not afraid to fail or make mistakes because I learn from them. I believe life is a gift and I live it to the fullest. I value every day and every moment. I despise wasted or lost time. I am driven to achieve great things. I have mastered the material world, but I am always learning to grow and climb to new heights. My thoughts are powerful. I understand how to turn ideas and thoughts into reality by accepting them, and I can have, do, or achieve anything I set my mind to. I am grateful to God and the universe for everything I am and have. However, my most valued and sacred possession is my family, and I thrive on loving them and being loved. I am a coach and friend to my best friend, my wife. I am also a coach and protector of her brothers and sisters who have become my family. I am a loving father who learns as much from his kids as he teaches them. I am a visionary. I have been blessed with the ability to see what is needed and possible. I am analytical, intuitive, logical, and very persuasive when I believe in something. I am passionate about everything I do, be it work, play, love, travel, or sport. I'm an athlete at heart. I want to experience everything that I can. I am also very spiritual and believe that I was put here to become more enlightened and to evolve to be one with God and the universe. I am a good follower, but following led me into this leadership role that I am now in. I see that leadership role as a privilege and not a right, and I take it very seriously. My mission is to provide economic salvation to whoever wants it through my brainchild of a company. I get more from giving than receiving when it's appreciated. I strive to be self-sufficient as I do not like to depend on others, except for my wife. However, I'm appreciative of what others do for me, even though I may not express it enough. I value friendship and loyalty above all. Therefore, I know and like a lot of people, but I limit my inner circle of friends to very few. I'm very private. I can be tough if needed, and I love to fight. But really, I'm very compassionate inside, and I prefer making up. I am the quarterback of a corporate and field team of the most amazing people who I have been blessed with and whom I respect. I am an accomplished manager and executive with an unorthodox and unique management style. I am the founder of a billion-dollar enterprise called Market America, the leader and icon of one-to-one marketing and mass customization, which not only changed the way people shop, but created an opportunity giving countless people economic freedom, making their dreams come true. My dream of making an impact on the world is a reality, and I believe we can even change the world. I am J.R. Reidinger.
Well, now, okay, here's the point. Thank you. It wasn't done to get you to clap. I told them it was too long. I told them it was way too long, and they made me do it anyway. But I want you to understand something. That was 2001. We were only doing $100 million. It came true. Almost everything in there is true and the same today. What is your definition? Can you see? My point is, a lot of people don't even know who they are. They've never taken the time to think about it. Who are you? What are you about? What is your identity? And what is your mission? What is wrong with doing that? Without that, you're walking around in life without a compass or a map or an identity. You don't even know who you are. No wonder people are manipulated. Are you getting this? So what is so hard and so wrong about sitting down one night and spending a couple hours writing out your book, who you are? It's a program in the brain. Right now, the brain doesn't know who you are. So you know what? You become whatever you're around. And that ain't that good. Hallelujah. Okay, so look, here it is. You have to change your thinking. Only you can change your thinking. Only you. Change your thinking. You don't like where you're at? You want to be the next level? You want to apply it to the business? Change your thinking. Change it. I'm not saying keep it. I know you think. You haven't made it. There's a reason. Change your thinking. Is that such a terrible thing? Okay, see, When you think the same way, you get the same results. You do the same thing, nothing will change. You figure out who you are and what you want. And guess what? You're the only one that gets to decide who you are. Only you. That's your privilege. God-given right. Well, who are you and what do you want to become? Because if you program it in your brain, look at me. Look at many of the people that have made it. That's what we did. More so than what we built. It happened because of the programming of our brain. I gave you all the keys yesterday. I don't know if you're listening to them, hearing them, or going to try them. But the missing piece is we need to program your brain too. Now, is it possible? Logically, I need you to be convinced, and maybe you have never figured it out, what you can do with the business income-wise, which would translate into a lifestyle and irritate a lot of people and please your family. You know, someone says, oh, my wife is negative. Your wife is negative? Yeah, she's really negative against the whole thing. I say, let me tell you something, buddy. Your wife is not negative. She's positive. She's positive that you're an idiot. And she's positive that you wasted 10 years of your life and are broke. And if you would go out and make something happen, she would become very positive. What do you say? Yeah? Some people don't like that one. Okay, so at any rate, look at this. Each unfranchise, okay, if you do what I said yesterday, did you get that? You have to turn on the starter. That's a senior partner. You don't have one, it ain't going to happen. Why? It's too scary, and nobody will listen to you. So I already won the argument. You're out. You get this? You won't even do the first thing, make the list of 10 to 20, then to 100, and start doing it with them. And because it only goes down 2 legs, and everybody's doing it and adding 8 per year, you're going to hit. So look at this. 1 center, not 3. You saw all these people up here with 3, 4, 5, 10 BDCs. 1. 1. The most important one. Okay? So we start doing the teamwork down the 2 legs. Your goal might have been coordinator, executive coordinator. That tells me you don't understand the business. Your first goal is to qualify with 1,500 every week. What do you do it? Halfway? 1/4 way? You cross the falls in the wheelbarrow halfway and stay there? You know, you finish it. 1 BDC, guess what? 1,500 times 4 is 6,000. That's professional. So the lowest first goal is professional. But the way you do that is not by you going professional, it's by getting 2 people to go master. There have 2 people cycling weekly. I mean, they're qualifying for 1,500 weekly, and you have 2 people cycling, so you get 2,100. Uh-oh, uh-oh, uh-oh. You're not a professional. You're a supervising coordinator. Can't you multiply? 4 times 2,100 is what? 8,400. What is supervising level? 7,500. So, by building 1 center, solid, with the evaluation approach, and everybody doing it as a team, and having a partner, and doing 2 a week for 52 weeks, 104. Is that something you can't do? Is that too hard? Huh? So you can do it. You can do it. There's no can'ts here. So, your executive, your national supervising coordinator, if you're doing 2,100 every week, okay, and have one flush of IBV per month. Now, you got the people. I know that the IBV and shopping annuity doesn't work and all that stuff. But if you have the people and they just buy, and they buy the higher IBV things because you want to get a check, just like in BB, you'll get checks. And it'll get better and better and better and better. And you'll be already in the driver's seat. Okay, so director, by maxing out the 001 and having one more leg open, not cycling every week, okay, but you're building it. You're a director, $18,000 a month. Now, what are you going to do? Buy a new car, travel, do something for your wife? Well, I'll tell you one thing, it's going to irritate the neighbors. Because when you go out to work, you're only doing the boss a favor by staying there. You're about ready to retire him and retire the company. $18,000 a month, you're just doing them a favor, okay? That's going to irritate the neighbors because you're going on vacation, you got a new car, you've moved to another neighborhood, things are changing, and you're living. I mean, guys, this is big. So continue to sponsor 4 to 8 per year with the evaluation approach. And then I open up the inside leg, but you got to have the 001. My point is this, it only takes one leg, and doing what I said yesterday, down 2 things with a team and with your partner, and it works. It's done. It'll happen this year by convention. Oh, I know. You can't do it. You can't do it. We better bury that. Look, you deserve to be a director. Life begins at being a director. It's only 1 center and a half. I mean, you open the second leg after you were making $15,000 a month. Are you with me on this? Am I preaching to the choir? I hope so. You spent a lot of money to get here. I sure hope that you get this. Who are you? What do you do? What do you want to become? I am a director. And you act like a director. You talk like a director. You do like a director. You live like a director. You are a director. And the volume catches up. You don't go director first and then get the money. You become a director first in your head, and the volume and the money catches up. And you know what? I don't want to hear how long you've been in, because it's embarrassing. It makes you look like you stink. Lousy player. You haven't, if you bought a franchise or a business or had a construction business and didn't go to work except 3 days a week, you'd be out of business, bankrupt. So it don't count. Stop it. Please stop it. It's embarrassing. And you're better than that. Yeah, you found out about it a while ago. But you see, tomorrow can be the first day. The first day that you really took it seriously and got a real business. Because you're doing these things. And all it is evaluation approach. Hatching geese. Imprinting. Having fun. Doing it with other people. Wait, look. How old are you? 30? 40? 50? I guarantee you, you'll get to 60. You don't know how it happened, but you will. You've been signed up or discovered it 10 years ago. You're 35 now. You ain't what you used to be. What is 90 days of your life? 90 days to go berserk. Just 90 days. I mean, you lived for 35 years and you ain't got nothing. Come on. Let's have some fun. Let's go on a road trip. Let's be like we were in college again. But here's what happens when you program your brain. Right now, you're not motivated. You're not inspired. You're not driven. You see, when you program the brain, it creates your beliefs. When that belief gets to the point where you know, it's not a guess. You're not believing to be, oh, I believe. You know. It creates your attitudes. So now you have an attitude where you attract people. You want to do it. You're confident. And that creates your feelings. And your feelings determine your actions. And your actions determine your results. What you used to hate to do, you now love to do. What you were afraid to do, you're now a star at. You're confident. And I have seen this happen to people that make it over and over again. So the 2 to 3 year plan doesn't mean that you've been in for 2 to 3 years. It does not begin when you sign the application. It begins when you start. We can start tomorrow. You want to start tomorrow? What are you going to do? Put it off for a week? Oh, I got a few things to take care of. You got to do it right now. Nothing's more important. A new lease on life, rebirth. I can, I will, I'm going to right away. I am a success. I am a director. And you'll come back at convention as one. See? So this cycle is very dangerous. It's very dangerous. I applied it with my brain as an average guy, and look what it got me into. You want to trade places? Okay, so when you have an idea, thought, or dream, you don't even have one yet, maybe. You need an idea, thought, or dream. This not only applies to this, but anything else in life. You'll become successful at anything that you apply this to. So that belief, when we really detail it out, becomes something that we know, and now we accept it. I accept it. That means when two things are in total agreement, you and the idea. So now your behavior reflects that. You demonstrate it. Are you getting this? Am I boring you? Are you worn out? Because see, you couldn't demonstrate it before because you didn't want to. You didn't feel like it. You weren't driven. All of a sudden, you start feeling like it. So when you demonstrate the idea or thought, the cycle is completed in the universe and it starts to manifest. You say, oh, what if I don't have the people? The people will come to you. Oh, you'll never know because you won't try it. How do you think I got Dennis Franks? I didn't know him. How do you think I got Elizabeth Weber? They came to me because of the thought and the belief. Okay, you don't like this? Okay. So, look, let me tell you something. Every scripture, every religion, every book of wisdom says the same thing. God created man in his own image. What does that mean? It means that he gave him the ability to think and the ability to decide for himself. And the most powerful of all, in his own image, the ability to create. He passed it on to mankind. And what are you doing with it? I know, you know. It's the law of the universe. I didn't make it up, you see? So that billions of volt, it's got to go on. I want to program your brain. I need to teach you how the brain works. Believe me, I'm not going to go over today, okay? If you can hang out to the end, somebody come up and tell me how much time I have because I don't want to go over. I never break a promise. I never promised that before. Okay, so this creation cycle, we started by thinking, right? And the universe, whether you believe it or not, is going to align everything for it to work. Now, how do you know? How can you argue with me? I know you're arguing with me in your mind. I know you. How can you argue with me when you never tried it? It's not fair. It's a circular conversation. You know what that is? It is because it is, because I say it is, it is, it is, it is. Well, you didn't give me any reason why it is. So you have to do a what-if exercise. What if I was making 18 grand? What type of car would I be driving? What type of vacations would I be taking? Would my wife still be working? What type of schools would my kids go to? $18,000 a month. What type of savings would I have? What do you want to do? You want to contribute to churches? You want to do something altruistic? Okay. Okay, so cross the tightrope. Be afraid. I was scared to death and almost fell. Will you cross the tightrope? Will you? Because you see, you won't do it unless you know that you can make it, because it's scary. Do you know that you can make it? Am I making a point? Are you understanding what I'm trying to say? That was up on Times Square. Times Square, they put that up. There's no crazier CEO in the business world. So decide who you are and what you want. It's really important in the business because of this. This is what I wanted to show you before. I had them out of order. You know, you shuffle all these slides. It's like having your cards out of order when you're playing poker. But the point is, the business is going to become, whether you like it or not, what you think, how you see it. Do you hear me on this? This is so important. I wish I could like zap you somehow. So at any rate, look at this. Elizabeth, in her mind, has a water tower. $1 million a year. But the only reason that is because that's what she thought. I helped her along the way to think it. But she really got it. Do you get this? She's no different than you. And this is mine, Hoover Dam or whatever that thing is. How big can you think? It'll become whatever you want. There's unlimited Market America water or fluid. It'll fill anything that you can think of. You know, so at any rate, yesterday, remember the three things? The three powers. Residual income. It's the thing that everybody in the world wants. You have it, and you can give them an offer too good to refuse to lead to some people. Doesn't matter if they go on and do it. Secondly, the MPCP, unfranchised and evaluation technique and trial run, is the fuel for the MPCP when you do the evaluation technique, because it's all going down those two lines. It's not like other things. It's not like what you've been doing. If you do that, it's going to work. The engine's going to start and it's going to take off. Why won't you try it? Did you understand it? I just showed you how we built it. And I wish I could check on you. If you don't do it, why did you come here? And then we program the brain, which we're doing right now. The proverbial rut, back and forth, till you don't even have to know your way to work. You have the red lights timed. You know, you see the same people at every light. Your life passes you by. After a while, they just need to push in the dirt in the rut you built, back and forth. You know, it's like the treadmill. The point is that people have to get off the treadmill in life. 10 years, 20 years, 30 years, 40 years go by, and they've gone nowhere. They worn themselves out. Is this true or false? This is what we're doing. We're getting people off the treadmill. But you get in the business, and you're back on the treadmill because you are not doing what works. So you might as well stay in a job. Are you hearing me? My point this weekend is get off the Market America treadmill. Start doing it our way. Am I making any sense? Okay. I gotta move. That's pretty funny, Andrew. You're really good at that. Okay, so look, just let me ask you real quickly. Do you think that you're going to get rich any other way? Now, see, I call rich, if you're making 6 figures every year, and it's residual. It comes in, and you don't have to exchange time for money. You're well off. You're affluent. And you can ramp that up as high as you want to go. And you're going to have money to invest. I mean, Lauren and I have made over $100 million in real estate on the side. Got to do something with the money. It's a hobby, you know. But listen, where else? To earn 100 grand, you got to invest 500,000 minimum. 5 times the net's the rule of thumb. But the problems you have are unbearable. You think it's hard in this business? Look at that brick and mortar. You got an expensive job, bro. And you can't stop. Because if you stop, and there's 24 hours a day until you're in business for yourself, then it never stops. And you can't get your little Market America unfranchised that you didn't have to invest anything in, going with just 2 legs with the valuation technique and make more than those business owners can make. That's what you got. I mean, oh, well, I know people that it didn't work for. Why do you keep looking for people that it didn't work for? I mean, look, you play golf? Yeah. Well, I saw your game and you stink, but that doesn't mean golf doesn't work. People go to college. They flunk out. 25% of the people that start never get done. That doesn't mean college doesn't work. People join churches and get religious, and then they go agnostic or leave. That don't mean the church don't work. People start out exercising with good intentions to build themselves up and get in shape, and they don't follow through, and they get fatter. That don't mean that working out and training and exercising doesn't work. It means that a day didn't work. You know? Andrew drives a lot. You would think he would be a good driver. What happened, Andrew? That doesn't mean that driving doesn't work. So, he's got residual income. Don't worry about it. Look, it's just a fact of life. Everybody wants a nest egg. Everybody that you know wants a nest egg. True or false? Everybody. But you know, how are they going to get it? How are they going to get it? They're exchanging time for money. Life passes them by. They get so caught up in it, they never even know of a way. But you could show them a way without leaving their job, without having to invest. Because even if you have the money, most people have no discretionary income to invest. But if they did, in the topsy-turvy markets of the day that are highly manipulated, you have a greater chance of losing the money than making a yield and an income on it regularly. Is that true or false? I mean, look what happened in 2013. I mean, are you awake? How else are people going to do this? How are the people you know ever going to do it? You have the golden egg. Because you say residual income removes all the barriers in our business. You've got to understand it. It is at the top of the economic ladder. It's what everybody seeks or wishes for. And you actually have it. Wow. Okay, look, how else are you going to get it? First of all, this thing's amazing because it compounds. You start out, you get raises on a job. 65, you get out, you get 1/4 pay, 1/2 pay, Social Security. I don't know how people can live on half pay when they couldn't even live on full pay. Crazy, isn't it? And then small business, they got to invest. They get to a certain point, they sell it, and then they got to go get another job. But Market America, you build it up part-time. It gets to the point where you can't afford to keep your job. It keeps growing, your residual income, and then you can come back and build it some more. You can take some time off, like Whiteheads did. They went and been missionaries or went to Mexico to orphanages, and they came back and they're building again. What other business is like that? There is no other business like that, you know? So I mean, I get myself carried away. I make all these slides and you don't even look at them. But the thing is, everything that you do every month, if you do it the way I showed you with the evaluation technique, builds on top of the previous months. They're producing people, and those people are producing people, and they're selling, and the volume is building up. So you're stacking all that time for over a year up in income. Do you understand that? Yeah. I'll just skip by these things. You guys are not hearing it. Oh, I need that one. So, what does a person with 3 centers make? I mean, with 1 fully developed center, 187 grand. If it doesn't have IBV, it's 109 grand. Look at the money that you have to have in T-bills, in treasury, or in the bank in order to make that. Are you looking at it? The other one was when interest was much higher that you saw before. It was the wrong slide, so they moved it. But right now, between 2 and 3%, that's what you got to make. Who is ever going to have $9 million in the bank here? Come on, how are you going to get it? The only way you're going to get it is to get in this. But you don't need it because you're making the residual income from 1 center. Oh, man. So you have residual income and an offer too good to refuse because they can't get it anywhere else. You have the MPCP and the evaluation technique that work together synergistically. It fuels it. It'll take you there. Just start it. Just try it. And finally, I hope your brain's programmed today. I got to move on. Get me down this road here. I got to move on to getting your brain programmed because I promised I would end on time. Okay, before I do that, though, I want to tell you honestly, we have pondered why don't we grow like we did in the beginning? Because we have so much more. What is this up here? I don't want this. Yeah, that's what I want. Okay. So we have so much more. Would you agree? I mean, I don't have to go through it. I mean, back then we had to add up our volume. We only had a few products. I mean, it was a difficult day. So we don't grow like we used to. We used to double every year for the first 10 years. Double. What happened? Well, I'm telling you, the plan works too well. It works so well that people forget to pass it on. They used to, but they get comfortable. Check every Monday. Check every Monday. I didn't do anything for the last 3 months, but check every Monday. I put no more requirements in. I didn't think I needed to. So here's what happens. Now, please, this group, listen to this carefully. Because I'm down in there working, and you ask Elizabeth or some of the other people, I analyze the group and the volume and who's doing what and where they are and how to get to the next level in great detail, microscopically. Because that's the only way I can get you to the next level. We need to know where are the teams, who's going to be partners, what leg, how are we going to cover every leg, where can we earn more money. So here's what I see very often, okay? An executive coordinator or professional coordinator, because they hit it at one time, is doing 4 and 2. They're under a national supervising coordinator that earns every week, and they're happy. They haven't held a meeting there in a long time because they didn't have to. Are you listening to this? Or are you afraid that you're going to get a brain spanking? Pull up your pants. I'm not going to hit you with a belt on your hiney. Don't worry. It's going to be soft. Okay? But you have to hear it. So, the 2 and 4, they used to be doing 5 and 5. They're at 2 and 4 now. But the national supervising coordinator doesn't know that because it's over 5 and they're getting a check every week. How many people understand what I'm saying? They call it a cooked leg. Cooked my ass. Not cooked. Okay, so that executive coordinator rolls up to the national supervising coordinator. First of all, the national supervising coordinator is not making all the money that they could make, because they're not getting a leadership bonus, are they? So it would pay them to work with somebody down there, if there was somebody worth it, $2,400 extra a month. Is that enough to make some calls and do a few meetings? $2,400 more a month. Okay, let me tell you the rest of the story, though. If you don't do it, that leg's going to collapse, and they're not going to be earning you anything. And how many people have had that happen? Come on, be honest. Come on, I've had it happen. I can admit it, but you can't. Okay, at any rate, it always look out for the person like this. Now, here's why. Not only are you giving up $2,400 extra income by working with somebody who wants it, but you could increase, you're going to lose a whole $1,500 to $2,100 a week. It's going to go. Okay? So no one maxed out in that leg, right? And it's now at $4K a week. Watch. Okay? But there's 2 diamonds in the rough. Now, Elizabeth, you and I together have identified many of these. You know, Augmendino did a speech about a guy who sought diamonds because they were congealed drop of sunlight that was worth so much money. And he became passionate about traveling the whole world looking for the biggest diamond mine. It's been 30 years. And in the 31st year, someone discovered the greatest diamond mine in the world right on his property. He was literally standing on acres of diamonds. But he went all around the world. Many of you have DIRs, diamonds in the rough, that would be directors down in there. And those people are bleeding. I mean, they're so good, so dedicated, but they have no confidence and they have no credibility and nobody to call people with them. If you would just do that, you would be doing a great service to somebody who really wanted to be a successful entrepreneur. But you'd also be securing your own business, okay? And these are the type of people that I built the business with. I'm telling you, they're there. So if you're out there and you're a diamond in the rough, that means you'll do those 5 things. You do all those things that I'm saying. You come to the convention. You come to the meetings. You want it badly, but it's hard to get people to listen. Figure out who upline is making money on you. Figure it out. You can figure it out. You almost know. And go ask them. Wow, I really want to build this. Will you help me? Will you do a few meetings for me? Will you do 3-way calls? Get yourself a partner and become a director. And you will go director. And if they won't do it, give me a call. Give me a call. Okay, is that a deal? That's all. Okay. I had more to say, but I got to get into your brain. I got to jump in a little pill, be ground up, and you take me, and I'm going to travel into your brain, okay, and show you how it works and how it's programmed. Before we do that, if you do what I just showed you, you can get rid of the thing that you hate the most in life, and that's the alarm clock. It's now the phone that has an alarm in it, okay? But that day,
I'm always at work.
that day will come. This is the goal. Never to have to be controlled again. We get up when we want. We go to bed when we want. Sometimes we get up at 6 o'clock in the morning and mow the lawn just to irritate the neighbors.
Never let that thing control you again. And once a month, on the first of the month, you set that thing like it's been set your whole life. And you say, I will never be controlled again by you.
Right?
Boy, that feels good. That thing's gone forever.
Okay, so do you believe in this? this concept, this principle, this law, okay? So I'm going to show you how the brain gets programmed, okay? So we have to control what goes into the brain, or we will become what the environment is, what's around you. So if you want more and nobody's making that type of money or has freedom or residual income or the lifestyle you want, you better control what goes into your brain or you're going to become like them. That's generally what's happened to you, isn't it? Right? So the universe will start to do things. You'll see. I know that you don't believe it. It sounds like hocus pocus. It sounds like magic, but people will literally knock at your door and ask for the opportunity. And you'll come telling me about it. You were right, JR. So we're going to take a journey into the brain, okay? And I'm going to show you how it works.
As I travel to the brain, you will be able to watch and listen remotely from your seat by video transmission. Let me explain how things work as I make this journey to the brain. To help simplify the complex process of how and why the programming of the human brain affects us as much as it does, let's take a quick look into the brain's central control room. That is the part of the brain where commands are received and where all the orders are handed out. The part of the brain that makes us feel good, work hard, and get things done. Or when not so well directed, it makes us slow down, fear the outcome, procrastinate, and stop dead still in our tracks. When we arrive in the control center shortly, you'll see me standing in front of a wall which is completely covered with literally tens of thousands of light switches, much like the light switches in our homes. One section of switches controls our moods. Another section governs our health. Another group of switches controls our emotions. Another our planning functions. Another our hopes and dreams. Another section is responsible for how we act, how we move, sit, stand, walk, look, speak, react, and respond. Everything about us, our memory, our judgment, our attitude, our fears, our creativity, logic, and spirit is controlled by the switches in our mental control room. When any command is transmitted into the control room, the proper directions are sent to the appropriate panels of switches. Within a fraction of a second, some of those switches are turned off or turned on. Within the brain itself, a network of tens of billions of neurons and electrochemical switches called neurotransmitters telegraph messages to every part of the brain, selecting just the right section of switches, which in turn switches part of us on and parts of us off. The brain's infinitesimally small chemical receiving centers respond to almost imperceptible electrochemical signals which deliver nearly unmeasurable but highly potent chemical substances to our brain and to our central nervous system and to our bodies, which in turn control or affect everything we do. It is the brain's responsibility to take care of us, and it does so by constantly monitoring our needs and directing the various parts of our systems to take the necessary action. The brain automatically responds to every one of our unconscious electrical, chemical, mental, and physical commands, those that are principally concerned with keeping us alive. But the brain responds also automatically to another kind of command, another exceptionally compelling electrical impulse which also turns the switches in the brain on or off. Those electrical impulses, those special mental commands which direct and control us, are called thoughts. Every thought we think, every conscious or unconscious thought we say to ourselves is translated into electrical impulses which in turn direct the control center in our brains to electrically and chemically affect and control every motion, every feeling, every action we take, every moment of every day. Whatever thoughts you have programmed into yourself or have allowed others to program into you are affecting, directing, or controlling everything about you. From the day you were born, we have received a staggering amount of programming. It would require an immense computer just to compute the number of individual pieces of information we receive from the world around us in just 1 year. Some of the programming is obvious, but much of it we are never even aware of receiving. The obvious programs are those comments, questions, and statements which are made to us directly. We are told by our parents and other adults what we can and cannot do. We are told what we are good at and what we are not. We are told how we look. We are told what to expect, what to believe in, how to act, and what to do or not to do. Because starting out as children, completely dependent on others, it's important to our survival to listen and to believe what others say. So we learn to accept what others tell us, and we learn to believe it. you have already been programmed to be exactly what and who you are right now.
So, I don't know if you were really listening. Basically, what they're telling you is this. Unfortunately or fortunately, you have a brain. You have a brain. You can't do anything about it. Every day, every second, what you think, what you say, what you read, what you do is programming that brain. And the output is what you are and what you have. So, if you really understand that, I don't care if you believe it or not, it's scientific. It's proven. It's absolute. There is no argument. You can go argue with the wall. You're not going to win. It's happening right now. This was a good programming day. But you have so much negative programming that there's an argument that's going on when you try to believe or try to do something. And can't is resurrected. Admit it. We have to change the programming. But who gets to decide that? As hard as it may be, you do have the power to decide that. Now, my plan is to go to another video and show you how I programmed Elizabeth's brain with what we do. She's a great example. So move to that video, because I want to speed up. And then, if you want, I'll give you 10 different exercises that you can do daily to program your brain to become a hopeless success. Okay? So, we just traveled to the brain. Now, there's certain things that you have to understand. You can decide to change thoughts that you get. Well, it costs too much money to go to convention. It doesn't cost that much money to go to convention because I'll end up making money by going. You see how I changed it? And I'm tired. I don't know if I can drive 2 hours to that meeting. Oh, I got to drive 2 hours to that meeting because they're the third level down, and if they go, I'm going to start hitting checks. You can reverse the mental statement because we are thinking all of the time. Our brain never shuts off. A person who does not talk to themselves is crazy. All day long, a little voice is talking. True or false? And you can have a conversation with them in a debate and win. And after you win enough, they give up. Okay. Somebody tell me if the Eddie Alberti video, Arguing in His Brain, has been passed. Because I'm jumping forward and it has, I'm going to have to go to that. The Wizard of Oz is back there behind the curtain. Okay, so let's see what we do with Elizabeth. This actually happened.
So I could get into your brain. As I travel to the brain, you will be able to watch and listen remotely from your seat by video transmission. Let me explain how things work as I make this journey to the brain. To help simplify the complex process of how and why the programming of the human brain affects us as much as it does, let's take a quick look into the brain's central control room. So here I am in the control center of the brain. I'm actually in the brain that you see on stage. You can hear and see that there's a lot going on here. Notice the web of bundles of nerve cords leading from one part of the brain to another and out to the central nervous system. This virtually is the wiring to and from the brain. And notice the thousands of signals and commands firing all at the same time, sending directions and commands to the different parts of the brain and nervous system and body. It's really like the central processing unit of the brain computer. And look at the wall of thousands of switches that are controlled by the programming input into the brain from what we accept from others, what we hear, what we feel, what we see, experience, think, and most importantly, say to ourselves. Now I'm going to go in and actually do some programming of the brain. This is exactly what happened to Betty Weber and caused her to become who she is today, the international field president, successful $1 million per year earner, Elizabeth Weber. First, it begins with a realization, an insight, an idea or thought that you get or accept. A billionth of a volt snaps across your cerebral cortex when you make up your mind. That's all it takes to change your identity and begin programming your mind. You see, what you put in front of your eyes and what you listen to and accept from others and what you experience and feel programs your brain. You see, that programmed hope, and it programmed a positive attitude, an I can attitude. And because of that programming, it programmed the brain to overcome her fears. So, it shut off her fears, it programmed the right attitude, and it caused her to have the hope necessary to build the business. I told Elizabeth that she could be the first to earn $2,100 per week. And if she did that, it would take less time to earn $6,300 per week because it was half done and the MPCP compounds. Well, she accepted it and believed it. And what's more important is what she told herself. When people ask how she knew it was a proven plan, she said, I'm going to prove it. Then she got her people saying, we're going to prove it. We're going to make it happen. Now, I would get Elizabeth seeing herself as a director, then as a field vice president, then as executive field vice president, senior field vice president, international field president. We would figure out exactly what she had to do to get there so that her brain could logically see how it would happen and accept it. So we programmed logic, and the logic made her brain understand how it was going to happen. Then Elizabeth began to think like a success. She refused to think negatively. She chose to think like a success, like a director or a field vice president. Of course, I helped her by feeding her mind and encouraging her, but she was open to it and stayed in close contact with me all the time. Thinking is like the keyboard to the brain computer. The more she thought like a field vice president, the more she became like one, and the stronger the programming until she was one mentally. That caused her to act, and she overcame fear by taking action. So her brain was actually programmed to make her act. But most important, throughout it all, she talked to herself, which is the most powerful form of programming. She would say, I am the best. I will prove that it works, and I will set the pace. She would say to herself, it's the greatest opportunity for the average person. And over again, she would say, Market America is the greatest company. I am the top UFO and distributor. I believe in my people. They are the best, and I empower them. I can do anything I want to do. I am the proof. I am earning $1 million per year. I will change the industry by setting the example for others to follow. I am free. This is powerful programming. And her thinking made her dreams manifest into reality because she demonstrated success all the time. So her brain was actually programmed to make her dreams come true. But there wasn't a day that she didn't talk to herself. When someone said something or she thought something for a second that didn't support her dream and identity, she would turn it around and restate it in the positive to herself as if it were done. She responded with strength rather than weakness as a leader. So she was actually programmed to be responsive to her people and to respond to situations. She became a creative problem solver as well as a creative duplicator. She actually helped create the unfranchised system because she was programmed to create and draw upon higher powers in herself. So she was actually programmed, her brain was programmed for creativity and to solve problems. It was nearly effortless after a while, because she programmed herself to be a hopeless success, and as a result, she became an international field president because she programmed her brain to be one, and the rest just happened. She was also programmed to be the spirit of Market America. Her brain actually caused her to be the spirit of this business. Ladies and gentlemen, she wasn't always like that. She was just like you. Let me leave the Brain Control Center now and show you exactly how to program your brain. But look what Programming Betty's brain did. It resulted in the successful $1 million per year earner, international field president, Elizabeth Weber.
Wow. Okay, so I'm telling you, that's a true story. But the thing is, and I'm going to skip forward. I'm going to be done early because I know that you're getting mentally constipated. Now listen to this. The problem is you have 30 years, 20 years, 40 years of negative programming, of doubt, of no positive reinforcement that something can work for you and you can make big money. Is that true or false? It really is. So when I introduce these logical programs to you, even programming your brain, where we can listen to tapes, we can read affirmations, we can break down our goal to what we have to do each month, each week, each day. Okay, we can listen to watch videos, we can listen to tapes every day, programming the brain. We can do exercises where we reverse the statements that we make so that they are positive and demonstrate somebody that would be succeeding rather than a person that's not succeeding. And I have these all outlined. I'm going to make it available to you, okay? But I can tell that you're getting tired, so I want to jump ahead. Here's the problem. If you take all of those programs, there's 10 programs that you can do weekly, daily, and you can check them off. Why not do them for 90 days and see if something doesn't happen? You may be amazed. If I could get just 20 people in here to do that and hit levels, it would be a demonstration to the rest of you that this is not hocus pocus. Does that make sense? But what happens is when I say you can go director and make 18 grand a year, and so logically by my method that I taught you yesterday of using the evaluation approach, hatching geese that imprint by doing it with them, right? And that we have the cookie, we have the golden egg with residual income, so you can give somebody an offer too good to refuse to evaluate it. And in our marketing plan with the 2 legs and everybody doing that, it's power. And the probability works in your favor. It's almost impossible not to hit. You with me on this? But your brain, from the 20, 30, 40 years of negative programming and doubt, says, where are you going to get the people from? You don't know anybody. You've never done that before. It'll never work. You're going to make a fool out of yourself. True or false? So an argument goes on in the brain. Now the thing about the brain and the program, the brain operating system, which is that creative cycle, has to accept the programming. If it doesn't accept it and believe it, it will not cause you to act. And when you don't act, it reverses the programming. Does that make sense to you? So we have to win the argument. I just want to show you what happens when somebody starts to do this and why we need logic and we need a stairs and we need a team to actually make it happen. So if you understand this, maybe you'll build the stairs and go up it, and then next convention, you'll be at the next level. That's my objective. Okay, so watch this. This is what happens.
Of course you have time. How serious are you to get it done?
But you need time to rest and catch up on your favorite shows.
You could plan ahead and shop for your needs on my own site. That will get you started. And you can tell others how to get started like this too.
You could just use that money for summer vacation. No one really makes money from shopping, do they?
You need 6 people to bear you. You have contacts in your phone book, friends on Facebook, and certainly many strangers that follow you on social media. If you really want to do something, you'll find a way. If you don't, you'll find an excuse. You can start with trial-size marketing to just a few people.
Don't bother people. They have their own lives and careers they're concentrating on. That would be so uncomfortable.
Don't worry, and you will not be like a used car salesman. Instead of selling, we educate people so they can make informed decisions. So instead of looking at yourself as a salesperson, you're actually an educator and a teacher.
You know you will lose all of your close friends because they want nothing to do with this.
Nearly every business and organization operate on a pyramid format. There's a CEO, and it moves down to executive leadership, middle management, and so forth. At Market America, everyone has an equal opportunity to make as much or little money as they desire, no matter where they are in their business growth.
You know, I prefer a safe job. No entrepreneur has ever made money anyway, except for the biggest schemers of all, Bill Gates, Warren Buffett, Oprah. Psh, network marketers are the worst. I think it's best that we all go back to the jobs we love and work until 65. Better yet, work until we're 75. I can't wait until I get into traffic at 5 a.m., get cut off by a New Jersey driver, and not have to see my family until a rush 9 p.m. dinner. And on select weekends when I'm not at my second job, stick it to them. I love my 2 weeks vacation and my favorite demeaning boss. The best part is that 1% raise. There's no reason to ever leave this life.
The most hungry and motivated people maximize the time they have in a day. A person being too busy is a myth. People make time for the things that are really important to them. I can make time. I will start by staying up an extra hour and waking up an hour earlier.
I have to take the kids to their activities. I need to make sure to keep my hours at my part-time job too. That's more important than starting a new business. Ha 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 ha!
You get it? So folks, this is very real. You are at the springboard to being a director. Because if you go back and do what we showed you yesterday with a team, with a partner, and try it for 90 days and make the list, things will start to happen. But you have to believe and accept in your brain that you are a director. You have to be one first. And I just showed you that it doesn't take that much. But your brain is going to argue with you, where are you going to get the people from? You can't see them now. How is it going to get there? And that doubt will reverse the program. So the brain has to logically have data and logic and math to convince it that you're right. Because if it doesn't see how you're going to get there, it'll reject the goal, the wish, the dream. And you'll fall back into the old pattern of not doing it. Does that make sense to you? So if your brain in that program that I showed you, that creative cycle, doesn't know, not believe, know and accept how it's going to get there, it won't happen. So this is extremely important. So people get all excited when they start to think, oh, it might happen. And they're going to put a lot of effort in. They go running to jump to the top, and they go crashing into the wall. And after a couple times, a couple bruises, they give up. I need to prevent that from happening, because I'm not going to be with every one of you. But I sure hope that you have a partner that's making money to help prevent it. And that's on you to do. There's somebody that you can find that'll do it with you. Isn't that true? Okay, so watch this now. I'm going to become a director this year. I can't think that little. Right from the beginning, I thought field vice president. Okay? Because that's basically 4 solid legs. Okay, so watch. How many people think they can do that?
I'm a field vice president.
Okay, now I want to drive the point home.
You can jump right up here. You believe that? Oh my God. This must work. This changed what we're doing. I'm almost to the top. Oh my God, I never saw anybody make it this way. Oh, jeez.
That's what happens to people. They think, oh, wow, I get it. I heard JR. He got to me. I'm going to try it. And they take a running start and jump, thinking that they're going to jump to the top. But only I can do that. Because my brain is programmed to do it. But so you hit the wall, and now you don't believe anymore. Did you understand what I'm saying? Because this is really important. So that's not how we made it. It's an illusion. It's an illusion. It's fake. When you look at these people making the big money, you think that they were born that way. You think it was automatic. I'm here to tell you it's not. They cheated. You didn't know that, did you? I'm telling you, they cheated. They found a stairwell on the other side of the wall. They discovered it. And when they saw that, the brain said, I can definitely go up that. But if the brain doesn't have that, you're trying to run into the wall or jump to the top. Are you getting this, or am I wasting my time? Okay, so we need logic. So if we build a staircase by breaking down the annual goal of how many legs we have, how many people we need, you with me? What do you need? 2 legs to go national supervising coordinator, 3 legs to go director. Doing what I showed you yesterday, which is not the way you did it. True or false? So if we do it the way I showed you yesterday with a partner, and we build a staircase of what we have to do each month to reach that goal by the end of the year, we're much more likely to hit it. But still, when you get to the 30th day of the month and haven't hit it, the whole month went by. Oh my God, I missed. So what does that do to the brain? It programs it wrong. You stop accepting it. But this increases the probability of it happening, because you can't take the business 1 month at a time. Listen to me. 30 days goes by and you had a lot of problems, got sidetracked, and a lot of stuff happened. Right? I understand. But when we break it down to a week, what do we have to do each week to hit the monthly goal? Now the brain starts to say, oh, that's more probable. We can do that. But guess what happens? The end of the week comes, and you got sidetracked, something bad happened and made you unhappy. You had too much negative. It was a bad week. We all have them, right? So if that happens a couple times, the brain rejects the program. Are you with me? Is this true? Do you feel this? You can only take life 1 day at a time. You can't take it a week at a time. But if I can break something down to what I have to do daily that will equal what has to be done weekly, which equals, if there are 4 weeks, what has to be done monthly, I'm just going up the stairs. And guess what else? If I have a partner, a senior partner that's making money in front of me, and my group with me, I can't even turn around. I can't even get off the stairs. And we're doing it together. And you know how, like, you go to work out, or you go to learn a sport, or you go to start doing something, and if you don't have anybody doing it with you, too many things get in the way and you don't do it. Isn't that truth? But what happens when you're doing it with other people? And they're picking you up and you're doing it together. It happens. And it actually becomes fun. So, a goal and a goal statement with a detailed plan of action is critical to this process. I need it in order to hit the target, right? And what I want to do now is go to the video of us climbing the stairs together, if I may. Can you guys do that? Keep doing it, because the weekly goal, 4 weeks automatically add up to the monthly goal. We have enough people, enough assessments, enough follow-ups, and we did them 1 week at a time and got in position to accomplish the weekly by doing the daily. So it just all adds up.
we're making it, you know? We're making it to the top.
Now notice the people in
And we
between
all
can't
made-
get off. They're
We
stuck
have
on
now
it with me.
made executive director in 1 year. Feels pretty good, doesn't it?
And that's how it happens. You have a partner that's senior, that gives you credibility, that changes the atmosphere. You get the people from the evaluation technique, just like I taught you yesterday, to do it with you. And we break it down so it's believable to what we got to do each day, each week. 2 a week, 2 evaluation calls a week is doable for anybody. If you can't do that, just get the hell out. Seriously, I mean, it's ridiculous, you know? So, you don't believe that this was the way it was built. I want to go back to 2002. 2002, me showing at a convention, Frank Kiefer and some of his people in front of everybody how to do this. And we did it in reality.
Do you think you can jump to the top of that?
I don't know, JR. It's awful high. I don't think I can make it in one jump.
And this is what most people do. They get a dream, and isn't their dream up there? So, see, here's what you've been doing. Here's what you've been doing. You get that dream and say, man, but I'm going to do it because JR said I could do it. Kiefer said I could do it. Weber said I can do it. And I'm going to do it. Get out of my way. Here I come. I'm going to do it. And I run, and I leave. And if I went into it, I'd get hurt, wouldn't I? I said, no, I'm tough. I'm not going to quit. And you get back again. And you get back and you run even harder. And you're going to try, if I can just get my hands up there and reach it. But you can't reach it. All we need to do is build a staircase to our dream. Okay? And all you really need is 12 to 16 good people, 3 to 4 in each leg by the end of the year, and you'll have all 3 centers qualifying. And Frank, we can build a staircase to your dream. Do you think you can do that?
I think I can do it, JR.
Frank, take the first step.
I'm doing it,
Says
JR.
He can believe he can take that step. Everybody see that? Everybody see that? Well, what happens? He automatically hit the weekly goal, which is what? Show the plan to 1 or 2 people, because he had people to show the plan to. Because Frank now knows he can do the daily steps, it takes 30 days to make a habit. And that first 30 days is the hardest day. But it started as an idea, a dream, a thought. And because he began to believe in it, because we programmed the brain with positive, and we took little steps, and the action enforced the belief, so he began to accept it, and he began to become it. Now he is it, isn't it? Frank, feel to be making $800,000 a year.
It feels fantastic.
Here's a guy that's just started in the business. Eddie just started about a month ago. He's just getting wet behind the ears, but he's coachable and he's listening. Now, if he was sponsored by Frank, okay, Frank, all you got to do is tell him to follow in your footsteps, don't you? And do you think it's more believable for you seeing Frank having done that just to follow, that you can do it too?
Definitely.
You see, that's why I say my motto is you must succeed so that other people can realize their dreams.
2002. And it happened. It happened. Oh, I'm going to tell you something. Tony Bowling was one of the best. He would never have gotten Frank in if he didn't, because Frank is hard. He is tough. He is rambunctious. And he was afraid of him, but he knew him. And we went, he took me to the hotel where where in Virginia did we used to go? Tyson's Corner. And showed him the plan, followed up, and, well, the rest is history. 50 directors in that leg. Okay? But what if I didn't go with them because I was already making money on them? Diamond in the rough. That was a big diamond in the rough. Think about that. Okay, so we have to reprogram the brain, right? Reprogram the brain, and the creative cycle starts to take place. So if we do it as a team, and what I taught you yesterday was very simple, very simple. We have the golden egg. We have the Holy Grail. There's no other way for people to get residual income. It's possible here. The proof is in the pudding. There's thousands of people that have it. There's hundreds of people that have become millionaires. It's real. You have it, and you can offer them an offer too good to refuse. I don't know if you're right for this. I don't know if you're qualified. I don't know if this is going to be your bag. But if you evaluate it and lead to some people that do it, you end up getting credit, and you could end up with a residual income. It's worth a try. That's all we're asking. And when you do that 2 a week with a team, you start to climb the stairs. Even you. I'm talking to you. I'm not talking to them. I'm talking to you. You can do this. You can try it. And if you try it, you just might be surprised. Because Elizabeth Weber did every MLM in the world before I met her. She was a floozy. But when she got in this, she saw the difference. And you saw what happened. True or false? So it happens. So what I want to do, I'm going to provide you, you know, how do you like the credibility, the digital credibility, and what is it called? The digital education credibility tape. It's very effective. Would you agree with that? It's a much needed tool. Now, I know the other thing that stifles you or that trips you up is this perception or this preconceived notion, stereotypical notion that this is like MLM. I tell you what it's really like. It's like social networking. People lead to people and they track it. And the influencers make all the money on the people that lead to people. So if you have 300 people in your network, they're able to promote a product on the network and they make the money, you make nothing. Well, if you think about the diagram of Facebook or IG, it was people leading to people, and it's the same type of diagram, isn't it? I have slides on all this. I'm trying to get to the end today because I know the mind can only absorb what the rear end can endure. That's the first time I ever said that to you. I'm programming my mind. I'm still learning. I'm still changing. What about you? If I can change, can you change? You see? So, where was I? Oh, so at the end of the day, if somebody will try this, they're going to have a different experience. I know that for sure. But I got to find a way to get you to try it. You came all this way, spent all this money. I don't know if you were tricked into going here, but you're here. And you've heard the word. And you have to understand that you can search and look and research. You'll never find another way that eliminates the obstacles of the investment, of experience, of education, to be able to make 6 figures. And making 6 figures is one thing. You got to exchange time and money and be in the business. You got to be there. This is residual. We have the Holy Grail. We have the golden egg, the pot of gold at the end of the rainbow. And because you have it, you can offer somebody to evaluate it. You're not trying to get them in because they might know the right people. And in which case, if they do, it worked. And I make it work before they decide. Because I don't need anybody to get in. It's not going to lead to anybody. It's simple. And if you do it as a team, and you know what? People aren't so abashed. They're not so, uptight because you're not trying to get them in. Are you listening to me? And it becomes fun. You're sharing. And we do it together. And it's not that big of a deal. Okay? So give me a chance. Just give me a chance. Give me a chance like Bowling did, like Elizabeth did. Like, give me a chance. Just do this with me. I'm telling you, it'll work. I want it to work for you. So, look, you know, 28 years. 28 years. I love you. I believe in you. I believe in you. I want to brag about you. I want us to have everybody making six figures in here. The world needs some positive news, and we can make it happen. Listen, guys, this company was founded on magic moments. Now, what is a magic moment? I've been talking about programming the brain. I've been talking about that breakthrough that you have. That breakthrough, which is always experiential. Nothing's going to change if you don't experience something different. You've been in for a while. Let's not keep going down that road. Let's change it a little bit. And let's do it together. You see, something happens when someone makes up their mind or reaches way down deep inside and says, I'm tired of being sick and tired. I'm tired of getting this result. I heard what the guy said. He pissed me off. It's me. I hope I irritated you a little bit. People say, JR, you like to motivate people. I don't like to motivate people. It does no good. Oh, I'm excited. I'm excited. Nothing happens until they get fed up and irritated. So get out of my way. I've had it. I hope you reach that moment. Because magic will happen. Magic. Because you have a way. You actually have a way. Everybody else that decides they want to be more or make six figures or change their life, they got to find a way. And I'm going to tell you something. Unless you got money, experience, or education, there is no way for you. You're going to be somebody else's tool. That's the bottom line. But we have it. You have it. You have the power. Don't disrespect it. So a magic moment is when the future is undetermined. We don't know if we will make it. We don't know if the company will work. We don't know if people will join us. We didn't know this weekend if anybody would come. And there were some good reasons. But a magic moment is when somebody has that billionth of a volt snap across their cerebral cortex. When the future was unknown and they made a decision, they made up their mind. And in so doing, it determined the future. A magic moment. That decision and commitment changes and it determines the future. We are not here by chance. And we do have a will that determines destiny. And we were given a mind. And the Bible and every other scripture says, ask and you shall receive. Seek and you shall find. Knock and it shall be opened unto you. For he who believes, all things are possible. It's possible for you. So, there's been many magic moments. There are too many to count. But just let me give you a couple. Because the biggest magic moment for me will be tonight, if you make up your mind. If that billionth of a volt goes off, say, well, I got everything to gain and nothing to lose. The guy makes sense. I'm going to try. Oh. That changes everything. Because you see, in the beginning, I didn't I was afraid to do this. I was afraid. I understand when you're afraid. I had all these big ideas about one-to-one marketing, and you didn't need to, go through the normal channels. And 70% of the cost of all products was in advertising, distribution, inventory, and I knew what everybody wanted. I could come out with the product, make it better, and ship it to them. In the movie example. So I would be telling Lauren all this stuff. She says, wow, that sounds like a great idea. It makes sense to me. People hate to be sold, but they love to buy. So find out what everybody wants and get it and set up computers and let them order it and ship it to them. Why don't you do it, big boy? Oh, that pissed me off. You know the movie story, don't you? So she believed in me so much and irritated me so much that I tried. Like you have to do. I tried. I did it. Mark came over. Mark has turned into the most incredible president and COO that I could ever dream of. But he was wet behind the ears. But Lauren brought me to action. It was a magic moment when she stared me square in the eyes and said, I believe in you. You can do it. Try it. Do it. It makes too much sense, JR. Magic moment. Thank you, Lauren. Ooh. So we got started. See if this sounds familiar. We got started, and we were killing ourselves. The bedroom was customer service. The garage was a shipping zone. We did it out of our house. We worked all day and we worked all night. I had 250 grand put away. It was going down, 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 down. I was trying to get it. I said, Mark, maybe this is ahead of its time. It's a revolutionary idea. People aren't ready for it. Get it? I'm running out of money. I'm going to have to get a consulting job or something. He looked at me and said, how can you give up on the dream, man? Residual income. I believe in it. I bought into it. You can't do that. You go out and build it. I'll do the boxes. I'll ship the products. I'll do this stuff. Don't take my dream. Do you understand that? That was a magic moment. Because if he was willing to fold too, why do it? Do you understand that? Wow, he begged me to stay in. And then Lauren and Mark brought on their incredible family and their childhood friends. It's one of those classes in school that was a super class. Everybody was bright and a star, and maybe you have seen some of those. This was one of them. And they all were wet behind the ears. So you young people, let me tell you something about this company. It was started and built with 20-year-olds just getting out of college, wet behind the ears, that believed in me and rallied around the cause and learned what to do. They've had no other job for 28 years, but it was started by kids with me. And that was a magic moment because they pulled behind us. We couldn't afford to pay big salaries. They worked for practically nothing. Magic moment. Because that decision to stay with us and join together determined the future. Do you understand that? They didn't know that it was going to work. They knew that I was crazy. That's what they knew. Oh, wow. And then we started to build, and on this journey, I met this guy, this football player, Eagles football player down in Ocean City, and I don't know how I convinced him to do it. He asked me, where's the literature? Where's the products? I said, we don't have any. He said, well, how can you do it without any literature? I said, that's what you're for. And we went on a cruise and cut a commercial thinking that might help get people interested. And, one of the guys that was an old crony from the past who led to Elizabeth, remember the bean jars, the nuts? And he's not here anymore. He went bankrupt. He did something else. But he tried to convince Dennis that he got the formula. He stole the formula that I had of thermochrome, and he could do it better. And you know what Dennis did? He didn't even talk to him. He grabbed him and threw him up against the wall. He said, "Don't you steal my dream." Huh? You've been with me ever since. Huh? That's magic moment. Magic moment. If he left, it might have gone down. But that determined the future. That determined the future. And then, I didn't really believe I needed any money to do this, and I put all that I had in it, but I was worried about checks bouncing. I didn't take any commissions for 2 years. I just put the checks away. So I'll get it back when the thing really works. So I wasn't taking any pay, but I was worried about checks to vendors, checks to the field, being short, cash flow. So I met this guy, Marty Weissman, and we had a fight over jewelry because we started with jewelry. It wasn't really a fight. It was a heated discussion about somebody who bought it that he gave the money to that wasn't doing it and disappeared. I said, "Marty, why don't you just come up? Because I really think we could do something great together. I said, and if it doesn't work, then I'll find a way to get your money back." And so Marty came up, and every company needs a good Jewish merchant. a guy who can work the deals. So Marty grew up in the streets of Brooklyn and was in the carpet industry. They built a pretty good company and big manufacturing. He kind of got ripped off in the sale, but he made millions. And I needed a guy like that. So I asked Marty, "You think we could team up? Look, I need some cash flow money." And after meeting with Lauren and me, he came and said, "Look, you got a blank check for 500 grand. I didn't need 500 grand. I didn't want to be beholden. And I signed USC statements. I made sure that he was going to get paid and secured, because everybody else that he ever loaned money to beat him, didn't pay him back. But Marty said, "JR, I believe in what you're doing. You can write the check for whatever you want." I think we used, 50,000 or so? I don't know. It didn't matter. But what he brought to the table was entrepreneurial and merchant deal-making vision. He'd run a company with 300 people. We didn't have that. I needed it. So Marty, without knowing if it would work, not only gave his money, gave his heart, soul, and brain to the business. We made it happen. I don't know if we would have made it. I will. Everybody knows somebody that got all A's in school that never studied. And I was told by a very successful entrepreneur one time, there's a few types of people. One spends no time doing everything, but is very smart and figures it out and doesn't work anymore. Another one works all night long and all day long, and they come up with a solution and it doesn't work that well. Which would you rather have? I said, well, the first one. Well, that first one was Joe Boyard. He was a very smart guy. I tried to make him work more. He didn't have to, but he's our numbers guy. And he made it happen. I'm going to leave people out because there's too many numbers, but the rest of the corporate team that joined us, Steve Ashley and the family, came together. I mean, he made the NMTSS work really well the first time. Kevin Buckman, who's been the professor, who's been my brother. I mean, I have more trust in him than anyone because I know that he knows the legalities the way I do. He's basically my clone. And of course, Andrew, you know, Andrew says everything perfectly. You never have to worry about him saying the wrong thing to anybody. And so he's kind of my clone when it comes to showing the plan. And so these guys came together, and look, they weren't being paid a lot. No, they weren't being paid a lot. You know? So when you have good, dedicated people that aren't getting paid a lot, somehow they get other good, dedicated people that do get paid a lot. No. Unbelievable journey. Unbelievable journey. And then, you know, the programming and IT people that we had. One of them at the top of his field. The other one worked his way from the bottom up. They're two of the brightest people that you could ever hope for. I mean, incredible. We never have, you know, the crashes. They're able to produce software and searches and analytics that are not seen anywhere. You know, so Eugene Wallace and Michael Brady, they're superstars on our team. And, you know, so this all comes from some dumb idea. People hate to be sold, but they love to buy. And we can do it because the greatest power in the world is not Fortune 500 companies, it's not governments, it's not the establishment and all of the caste system that they build in order to get into it. It's almost impossible to break in. The only way we could do it is the greatest power in the world was people power. So we created an opportunity, and you embraced it. You know, one of the Bloomberg, when we bought Shop, that made everybody in the world think that we were a successful internet marketing company, and we enjoyed that for years until this multi-level thing starts to come up, which is ridiculous because we're really not. And I'm developing a piece like the credibility piece, you know, the digital credibility piece, that totally explains it, gives you great answers. Mark Ashley, when I put all the pieces together, was the one who engineered, got the team together to make that credibility piece digital, and he's doing this. So you're going to have a great piece next month to wipe that away. The other one was a couple years ago when I was wondering how I could get you to understand that I understand you and the fear of doing this. And so the tightrope story was one of my favorite. That, you know, the guy walked across and said, if you believe I can do it again, which is what I'm saying to you, get in the wheelbarrow. So to demonstrate that, I walked across. And I almost fell. But you know what I would have done if I fell? I never thought about it. I would have gotten back up and make you stay 15 minutes more and go across successfully. So, magic moments, I'm sure that I've left some important ones out. The field team, the early advisory council, I'm going to tell you something. People sued us, you know, frivolously. People tried to raid our organization. We had all types of attacks and calamities. People tried to undermine us, steal our products, and it wasn't easy. But that advisory council, and Elizabeth Weber and the Bowlings and Keepers and many of the other early people came to our defense, and we stuck together. And you know what? I was in a lot of other companies, and that never happened before. Nobody stuck together. Everybody ran scared or tried to get their angle in. But we stayed together, and we made it. We made it together. That was a magic moment. My prayer is before each one of those magic moments, I really did not know if it would happen. Honestly, the future was not determined, but it was the people involved who made up their mind with that billionth of a volt and committed that did determine the future. I'm at that point tonight. I'm not 30 anymore. I gotta make this thing work. We have to change the world, guys. I want to have one more magic moment. One more. That we come together and you go back and we make it happen. And we'll remember, this is the night it happened. Because of you. I believe in you. I believe in you. Thank you. Go build it.